I truly believe that the quest to lose weight at all costs and the hyperfixation on losing weight is part of the reason that we are where we are today as a society when it comes to our health, and the biggest reason why you personally have been struggling to get your body and health where you need it to be. So I want you to shift your focus, your thought process, and your efforts to a different place, your metabolism. And here's why. What's going on? My name is Monto Harden, personal trainer, strength and conditioning, and sports nutrition coach since 2017. Over that time, we've worked with hundreds of men and women, helping them drop body fat, build lean muscle, and get in the best shape of their lives. And we've done this largely by not hyperfixating on how much they weigh, but more so on creating a high running metabolism that drops body fat on autopilot, that helped them feel amazing and energetic, that allowed for flexibility and a sustainable approach. See, when I first started coaching clients, it was all about the weight loss. It was whatever was required to lose weight the fastest, because I felt like that's what people were paying me for. I felt like that's the only way that they saw value and worth in my services, and the only way to keep them consistent. But what I found out was the things that helped clients lose weight fast burned them out extremely quickly, and they typically ended up bouncing anyway because they felt so terrible on the back of losing that weight. And I would talk to them maybe 3 to 6 months later, and they gained every single bit of it back and then some. So after 10, 15 clients going through that kind of spin cycle and me realizing what was going on, I was like, whoa. Like we gotta back it up a little bit. We gotta figure out, why are these clients struggling to stay consistent with this strategy? And why are they gaining all the weight back in such a short period of time? They're gaining it all back almost quicker than they lost it. So I looked into our strategy and our approach, and I realized that focusing solely on the weight was one of the biggest detriments, and it was actually my fault and not theirs. A lot of times when you're training your first clients, you always blame everything on them. They're not doing it right. They didn't listen. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. But then you realize, like, it's on you, me, to make sure that clients actually are able to adhere to these things and that they understand the thought process behind these things. And I realized that. And one of the first clients that, once we shifted into focusing on metabolism instead of just focusing on weight loss, we saw amazing results with was Deidre. She dropped 30 pounds of body fat and 8 inches around the midsection in just 90 days. And to this day, she's kept every pound of it off, and she's still consistent with every single thing that we laid out, because we prioritized building a healthy, fast running metabolism as opposed to the weight loss race to the bottom that so many people are on. Here's the problem with focusing strictly on weight loss. You can lose weight doing essentially anything. You can cut your leg off and you'll lose a substantial amount of weight. You can just not eat for 4 or 5 days and you'll probably lose a substantial amount of weight. You can eat just fruit and you'll lose a substantial amount of weight. But do any of those things truly teach you the best foods for your body, how to avoid bad cravings, or how to properly train your body, or how to be more active or more disciplined when you're in situations where you might eat lower quality food? It teaches you nothing. So that's one of the biggest problems. It's almost like somebody that never got up and went to work. Like, I think we all know that person that, you know, they're always in between jobs. They quit all the time, and they win the lottery all of a sudden. Somebody that's never really understood the value of a dollar, that somebody that's never really worked and earned anything in their lives, they all of a sudden get all this money dumped in their lap. And what happens? They blow it all. They blow every single dime because they did not learn the lessons required to handle that amount of money. They did not learn the lessons. They did not put in the hard work required to earn that amount of money. So they lose it all. And it's the same concept when it comes to weight loss. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but those things don't necessarily alter your brain chemistry around food. They don't alter your metabolism. They don't cause you to build up the muscle of delaying gratification and disciplining yourself. You just have to severely restrict yourself for a few days so that the scale number looks the way that you want it to look. And then what happens? You can no longer severely restrict yourself, and then you put the weight right back on. And that's the same cycle that so many are on. So that's one of the biggest reasons why losing weight isn't that beneficial in and of itself, is because you can do it in a bad way. Secondly, is that you can lose weight and get fatter. Once I understood this, the way that I coach clients completely changed. So let's say that I take somebody that's 100 pounds. You're 100 pounds and you lose 10 pounds on the scale. But then we find out that all 10 pounds are lean muscle loss. You lost 10 pounds of lean muscle mass. So now you're only 90 pounds, but you're fatter. You're only 90 pounds, but you're now fatter because you lost a good chunk of lean muscle tissue from your body. You now have a higher body fat percentage. And we see this a lot with clients that lost weight extremely quickly. It's like you went from 320 to 220, but you did it in 6.5 months. You burned through your lean muscle mass. Like, yeah, you're 220, but you're skinny fat, you're lethargic, your energy is low, you're weaker than you were at 320. And sometimes you even maybe feel worse than you did at 320. So you can always lose weight and end up on the other side of that feeling fatter, flabbier, weaker, softer, pudgier in the middle. Like, all weight loss is not good weight loss. And we see this a lot even with women that come into our program postpartum, because a lot of times throughout the pregnancy process, throughout the postpartum recovery, women will lose a lot of lean muscle mass along the way, and then they'll get back to the weight that they were pre-pregnancy, but it looks different, it feels different, they feel different, they're weaker. But that's because they were only focused on what the weight on the scale was doing and not necessarily focused on the preservation of lean muscle mass and focusing on their actual body fat percentage. So please don't get confused by thinking that losing weight is automatically getting you leaner, getting you healthier, getting you more toned, getting you more defined. Because a lot of times if you're losing lean muscle mass, or if you're losing as much lean muscle mass as body fat, you're probably going to enter that skinny fat purgatory where it's so hard to figure out what you need to do, and you're just going to be frustrated and spinning your wheels. And then the next thing is that you can lose weight and get less healthy. And this is the thing that I actually think a vast majority of people are doing. So you try to lose some weight, so you severely restrict your caloric intake, and what happens is you're thinking, oh, I'm eating less food, but you're also eating less protein, and you're eating less magnesium and less potassium and less sodium and less vitamin B and less manganese and vitamin K and less iron and less ferritin. The list goes on. Like, that food is comprised of micro and macronutrients. So the less food you consume, more likely than not, unless you are hyper focused on only consuming foods that have these specific nutrient profiles so that you can be nutritionally proficient, which you're probably not if you're just on a weight loss race to the bottom. You're just trying to consume the lowest amount of food possible. You're going to become nutritionally deficient pretty quickly. So now you've lost a ton of lean muscle mass throughout your weight loss phase. And even worse, you've also become severely nutritionally deficient in multiple areas where when you were bigger, you were heavier, at least, yes, you had some excess body fat that we needed to get rid of, but your nutritional stores, your nutrient profile was largely intact. It was largely safe. You were pretty much good. But now you start this weight loss journey, you do all these things, you take the Ozempic, Wegovy, whatever the case may be, and now your nutritional profile is all out of whack, which means your hormonal profile becomes all out of whack, and now you create more problems than you solved, and you still didn't get the body fat off. So a lot of times people become less healthy as a result of hyperfixating on the weight loss. And those three things that I just talked about are the main reasons why I want you to shift your perception. That's what, if I could scream this from the rooftops, if I could write a PSA, if I could talk on Capitol Hill about it, or whatever the case may be, I would do it, because I think that we do not understand how the body operates, how the body works. And that's why you're spinning your wheels and you're stuck. You're losing the same 50 pounds again and again and again and again. You shouldn't have to do it but one time. If you have to do it again, that means what you were doing was sustainable, and that means that your body has not changed metabolically to where it's not even putting on that amount of body fat, to where you're not even having those types of issues. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to prioritize above all else the building and the preservation of lean muscle mass. Even if you have 100 pounds of body fat that you want to get off, you need to eat enough protein to where you can at least maintain the amount of lean muscle mass that you have right now. You need to strength train consistently so that you can maintain or even build on the lean muscle mass that you have right now, and increase your metabolism, which will allow you to drop more body fat as more body fat comes off. It's a seesaw. The more muscle mass you put on, the better you improve your odds of stripping off that excess body fat. Lean muscle is your longevity tissue, it's your energy tissue, it's hormonal regulator tissue. Lean muscle mass is the fountain of youth that everybody tries to look for. you have lean muscle mass existing on your body, and you have a body that holds on to lean muscle mass and is able to properly fuel it, everything else is going to flow properly downstream of that. So that's one of the biggest things that you want to prioritize. Then next is that you want to prioritize eating as much as you possibly can while still dropping 1 to 2 pounds of body fat per week. This one is one that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, and you think that losing weight means that you need to starve yourself and that you need to be eating as little as possible. Basically, eat as little as you can stand without passing out at work. And that's the exact wrong approach to have, because you will not sustain it. You want to diet in a way that does not feel restrictive, that does not feel like you're depriving yourself and that you're depleted and you've got the sunken black eyes and your energy is on 10% and you can barely get to the gym and get a workout in and your body's just paring down lean muscle. You want to eat as much as you possibly can while still losing body fat, not as little as you possibly can. And lastly is just to understand that more is not better. Better is better. So go to the gym 6 days a week, 2 times a day, throw all the cardio you want to on there, do all the Instagram workouts that you see, try to stay in the gym, 2-3 hours at a time, and do all these different things, do whatever you want. But if you are not recovering from it from a sleep perspective and from a nutritional perspective, you are spinning your wheels, you're just down throttling your metabolism, and you're honestly putting yourself at risk for injury. There are 3 pillars to a healthy, fit body: training, nutrition, and then recovery. You cannot skip out on recovery. You cannot wash out months, years, maybe decades worth of poor eating habits, lack of movement, lack of activity, with just trying to bum rush your way into, I'm going to work out 6-7 days a week, 2 times a day. I'm going to grind. I'm going to get it. I'm going to go. Like, you're not going to. It's the same concept with anything that you're trying to build. Stop trying to rush the process. Stop trying to get to the honeymoon before you had the first date. Like, really understand, okay, how do I need to be training and moving my body? What do I need to improve on in that area? How do I need to be eating? What foods work best for me, my body, my goals? How do I even understand food? Do I know how many calories is in this? Do I know how much protein is in that? Do I know what vitamins certain foods contain versus others? Like, do I actually understand food? Like, go through that process first. If you want to talk about the more, do more research, do more study, do more practical application. But just pulling the lever of, I'm going to do more cardio, I'm going to do more workouts, is a great way to put yourself in skinny fat purgatory and never get to where you want to be. So that's it. That's why I want you to focus on and prioritize metabolism over all else. Because if your metabolism is in a good place, your hormonal profile is in a good place, your body composition is in a good place, your nutrient profile is in a good place, and body fat is going to melt on autopilot. So if you listen to this and you're like, hey man, you know what? I've been focusing on just strictly losing weight and I've put my body in a bad position as a result. Click the first link down in the description, take our transformation quiz, and we'll help you figure out exactly what action steps you need to take in order to reverse all that and get yourself in the best shape of your life in a way that's sustainable, that fits your schedule, that's practical, and that you can do for the rest of your life. So that's it. That's all. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so that you don't miss any more uploads going forward. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.